Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan, nama saya Anggira Amalia dari kelas 4D. Di sini saya akan membuat tugas video untuk final test dari mata kuliah Introduction Second Language Acquisition. Di sini soal pertama, what are the differences between first language acquisition and second language learning? The answer is the differences between first language acquisition and second language learning, or L2, are rooted in the process and motivation involved. Children acquire their first language without formal instruction, relying on universal grammar and listening as a primary resource. 2. Do you think that you are a good or a poor L2 learner? Why do you think so? Consider whether you believe that your own relative level of success as a language learner is due primarily to linguistic, psychological, or social factors. Social may include type of instruction, context of learning, or attitude toward the L1 and L2. The answer: linguistic factors include the first native language proficiency and language similarity and cognitive abilities. And psychological factors include motivation, learning strategies, and emotional factors. And then number 3, as they can be understood in Chomsky theory of universal grammar, what is the difference between linguistic performance and linguistic competence? The answer is, in Chomsky's theory of universal grammar, linguistic performance and linguistic competence are two distinct concepts that describe different aspects of language use. The first, linguistic competence. Linguistic competence refers to the innate tacit knowledge of a language that an individual possesses. And the second, linguistic performance. Linguistic performance, on the other hand, refers to the actual use of language in concrete situations. Number 4, read the section on the property of the stimulus argument in chapter 3 and make a definition of this theory in your own words. Do you think this theory holds true for SLA as well as for first language acquisition? Why or why not? The answer is definition of property of the stimulus argument. In chapter 3 is a theoretical concept that suggests that children's ability to acquire language is not solely based on the linguistic input they receive from their environment. Okay. Number 5, if you have studied a second language, what are some of the linguistic elements that have been most difficult for you to master? Morphology, phonology, syntax, etc. Why do you think they have been harder? The answer is morphology. Morphology is the study of word structure, can be challenging for several reasons. The first, complexity, irregularities, and homophones. The second, phonology. Phonology, the study of sound system, can be challenging, include to unfamiliar sounds, tones, and intonation. And the last, syntax. Syntax, the study of sentence structure, can be challenging due to the first word order, clause structure, modal verbs. Number 6. Proponents of universal grammar believe that language ability is innate, whereas functionalists believe that we develop language primarily because of a need to communicate. Which theory do you believe in? Why both are correct? The answer is universal grammar theory. The universal grammar, or UG theory, proposed by Noam Chomsky, suggests that language ability is innate to humans, and functionalism theory. Functionalism, on the other hand, emphasizes the role of communication in language development. This theory suggests that language is primarily developed because of a need to communicate effectively with others. And then number 7, some teachers attribute variation in learner errors to the nature of students' prior learning experiences, such as whether learning was formal or informal, communicative or grammar-oriented, and even which teachers and textbook were part of the learner's experiences. Considering your own learning, do you feel such variable played a role in your L2 development? Give specific example. The answer is factors influencing language learning. Several factors can influence language learning, including formal versus informal learning, and communicative versus grammar-oriented learning, and teachers and textbook. Example. First, formal versus informal learning. A student might learn grammar rules and vocabulary through a structured classroom program, which could lead to a strong foundation in language structure. And second, informal learning. Another student might learn through self-study and language exchange, which could provide more flexibility and opportunities for practical language use. And then number 2, communicative versus grammar-oriented learning. The first example is communicative learning. A learner might focus on developing conversation skills through role-playing and group discussion, which could improve their ability to communicate effectively. And then number 2, grammar-oriented learning. Another learner might focus on studying grammar rules and sentence structures, which could provide a strong foundation in language mechanics. Number 8. The question is, it is postulated that younger learners are probably more successful in informal and naturalistic learning contexts, and older learners are more successful in formal instructional setting. Do you agree or disagree? Use your own experience combined with theoretical support from this chapter to make your argument. The answer is I agree that younger learners are more successful in informal and naturalistic learning contexts, and older learners are more successful in formal instructional setting. And then number 9, considering your own learning or the learning of someone you know well, do you believe in the answer is scaffolding and zone of proximal development. Scaffolding refers to the temporary support and guidance provided to learners to help them achieve a learning goal. Example, first, language learning contexts include learner in need of scaffolding and more advanced learners or teacher. Number 2, mathematics learning contexts include learner in need of scaffolding and more advanced learner or teacher. Number 3, programming learner contexts include learner in need of scaffolding and more advanced learner or teacher. Number 10. 2 types of communicative competence are academic competence and interpersonal competence. In your own studies of an L2, which one of these was stressed? But thinking of your goals for the L2, what is the right one for you? Give example to clarify your answer. The answer is academic competence versus interpersonal competence and stress competence in my studies. Example, reading and writing.